Good evening, Jane A. Welcome to the trivia. Still trying to get this thing set up. It for some reason it doesn't want to move me with the scrolling on the bottom. It doesn't want to let me put my thing on the screen. So I'm working on it. Playing trivia and wings. What kind of wings are you making? Garlic, buffalo, regular plain wings, barbecue. Wing sounds good though. Oh, good evening, Pigeon Mac. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Still trying to get my picture on the screen here. For some reason, it doesn't want to let me do it with the scroll. So I'm in the actual settings here trying to figure this out. There we go. Got it. All right. The first trivia question is on the screen, as you can see, which is new evidence has come forward from this long gone cold case. Evidence just discovered shows DNA evidence that was recovered from under the fingernails and clothing that did not match the family or friends. What cold case is this? Is it A, the Zodiac murders, B, the John Benet Ramsey, C, Son of Sam, or D, BTK last victim? Bamacat. Good evening and welcome. Yeah, up and down, Pigeon Mac. Help. It's like if I take these take the acetaminophen and the antihistamine, I feel a lot better, but I sound like a complete idiot when I take the acetaminophen and the antihistamine. But that's what my doctor prescribed to me. But everything's like, oh, like start slurring everything, and it's bad enough the way it is. I just can't seem to get past this congestion and the runny nose and sneezing. Coughing's pretty much subsided though. Hello, drugs are bad. Okay. Yeah. B is what we got guess here. I hope it's B. Janice, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. I'm trying to scroll up here, see, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Callie Lisa, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Starfire, how well? Hope you're feeling better. Up and down, Starfire. I can't seem to get past this congestion. And with more like and the congestion in my chest and this sinus. Coughing has decided that my fever's gone away, but not 100% there now yet. I'd say I'm probably about 70% back. And I'll get there. Just need more rest. That's the hardest part is resting. I don't know how to stop working. And my wife jokes I'm going to work myself into an early grave. All right. Question 1. Mucinex helps it. I can't take Mucinex because of one of the additives that is in Mucinex itself. Because I have gout, and it reacts with the gout medication that I take. So I can't take Mucinex, and I can't take a lot of the over the counter congestion medications. I can't even take NyQuil. It's because the same thing is in, I know, in like most cold remedies, and congestion remedies. Drink lots of hot water. You PA a lot, but it flushes it out. Thank you, Janice. I've been drinking hot water and with lemon and a little bit of mint in it. I put some fresh mint leaves and lemon with just a touch of honey. But right now I'm drinking just regular water, no ice water, just like room temperature water. All right, but question one, the correct answer is B as in boy, JonBenét Ramsey. The evidence that was collected in 1997 does not match any of the family members, police, or friends. The DNA is not in the system, though. But it is a new discovered DNA that they didn't know about before. And when they went back through the original evidence from 1997, they discovered this DNA evidence was there, and it hadn't been tested previously. Yeah, that's the shocking part of it. It's that evidence was sitting there since 1997, and they never tested it. So that's the where they're going next. Callie Lisa is from the article that I read, said that they're going to be doing familial DNA to try to narrow it down to a familial system. Since this DNA is not in the system right now, they're going to try familial DNA to see if they can get any matches to families. I got to get rid of this scroll thing. 1 second here. All right, it's messing up my screen here on the other side. I can't even see where how to move to the next question. All right, next question. Question 2. To hate someone who isn't exactly like you is wrong. To kill them for being different is deplorable. How was Brianna Gray murdered along the walking path in Linear Park in Washington? Warrington, Cheshire. Was it A, shot by a gun or rifle, B, lynched, C, run over by a car or truck, or D, stabbed? You'd be surprised, that familial DNA. A lot of people have given up their DNA. Someone in their family has, and they're able to put the familial DNA, and make matches that way. The Mormon Church has the world's largest, obviously death records and records of individuals, but they have the second largest database, or maybe they're the first largest now, record of DNA records. The Church of Latter Day Saints. It was in my head. I just had to get it out. Question 2. To hate someone who isn't exactly like you is wrong. To kill them for being different is deplorable. How was Brianna Gray murdered along the walking path in Linear Park in Warrington, Cheshire? Been a lot of cases solved recently using the familial DNA. It only takes a few hours, and it's amazing. Yeah, it is. It's just another tool in the arsenal for law enforcement to be able to solve cold cases, that have been sitting, there on the shelves forever. They're able to go back and they just need just the tiniest piece of DNA. I'm a genealogist and DNA rocks. There you go. All right, question 2. The correct answer is D as in dog. Brianna Gray was stabbed to death along the walking path in Warrington, Cheshire. Question 3. We shall never know the true love between a pet and its owner unless you have yourself loved a pet unconditionally. How and why was Lonnie Ray murdered? Was it a racial crime, theft, beating? B, lovers triangle gone wrong and theft, shot? C, theft, buyer didn't have money and shot? D, drugs, it's almost always drugs and stabbed. Do any of you watch Finding Your Roots? Is that on PBS? I've seen one on PBS. I can't remember if that's the name of it. Finding Your Roots, where they go back with celebrities into their ancestry to and their records that show where their ancestors came from, came from. Not sure. Hmm. Yes, it streams on PBS. In my area, it streams on KCTS Channel 9, PBS affiliate. Finding Your Roots with Henry Louis Gates Jr. That's the show that I've actually seen. And you can stream it live and watch it online as well on PBS. Yes, and at the end of the show, the celebrities, the DNA they came from in the world. Yeah, that's pretty neat show. I've seen a couple different episodes, different celebrities who were pretty shocked by what they found out about their ancestry and how they came to got to America. We shall never know the true love between a pet and its owner unless you have loved a pet unconditionally. How and why was Lonnie Ray murdered? Question 3. Good evening, Interpeas. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Question 3. Was it racial crime and theft beating? Winks. Purple guessing D. And good evening, Purple, and welcome to tonight's trivia. Was it racial crime and theft and beating? Lovers triangle gone wrong and theft and shot? C, theft buyer didn't have money, shot? D, drugs, it's almost always drugs and stabbed. Question 3. You have another 45 seconds. Inner Peace is going E, Mountain Lion. Sorry. I need to cough into the microphone. I'm so stupid. I actually went to a second screen, and when I came back, it was just the trivia page. I waited and waited and thinking the connection lost. Nah, it was on pause the entire time. Oh, sorry, Jane. Good evening, love the sun. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful week and weekend. Question 3. The correct answer for this question is C as in cat. He was selling a puppy, and when he went to make the transaction, turn the puppy over and receive payment for the puppy, the individual didn't have the money and decided to stab him, or shot him actually, shot him, and then steal the puppy. I believe it was a purebred like pit bull or something like that, or a bulldog. It was some kind of puppy, but I don't remember what kind of puppy it was exactly. But it was I know it was a purebred. All right, question 4. Convicted of capital murder for 3 murders he didn't do. He was convicted because what his 15-year-old son did. Who is still at large to this very day? Who is this? Is it A, Richard Herman, B, Michael Acosta, C, Richard Acosta, D, Abel Herman? Question 4. Convicted of capital murder for 3 murders he didn't do. He was convicted because what his 15-year-old son did. Who is still at large? We're not looking for the father, we're looking for the name of the son. Who is still at large to this very day? Who is this? French Bulldog. Okay. Thank you, Starfire. Question 4. Convicted of capital murder for 3 murders he didn't do. That's got to be harsh. Janice is going with C. Question 4. Convicted of capital murder for 3 murders he didn't do. He was convicted because of what his 15-year-old son did. Who is this? Who is still at large? Who is this? The correct answer is A, Richard Herman. Richard Herman. They believe Richard is hiding out in either El Salvador, Mexico, or somewhere down towards that part of the bottom part of Mexico, but they're not exactly sure. Interpol is looking for him, so it's the U.S. government. But his 15-year-old son committed the murder or was with them, and with the other people, basically. But and they took off. E, Richard Nixon. Good evening, Cement Shoes. All right, question 5. You think Jeffrey Epstein didn't suicide himself? You have never seen a fake suicide before this one. The former fired fired minister of interior of the major general suicided himself before he could be charged with war crimes in Russia. Who is this? And I'm going to butcher these names. I already know it. Is it Vladimir Karvov? I don't know how you pronounce that. Nicole Valentina. C. Vladimir Putin. Or D. Boyko Pravel. Shooter. So I got I go for cutting edge treatment, and Tuesday it's the 2-3 day treatment. Oh. You think Jeffrey Epstein didn't suicide himself? You've never seen a fake suicide before this one. The former fired minister of the interior and major general suicided himself before he could be charged with war crimes in Russia. Who is this? E. Mikhail, whatever. Barry Shinkoff, the comedian? I think that's the comedian. C is still alive and doing with a and no, I don't think Epstein killed himself. C is still alive. Yeah. Finally getting my wisdom teeth yanked out tomorrow. It's only been 20 years. Looking forward to the laughing gas. I had all my wisdom teeth removed when I was in basic training for the United States Marine Corps, and they gave us well, I wasn't the only one that they did it to. They that they took out our wisdom teeth, but they gave us I think 2 days bed rest, and they gave us like Tylenol. They're like, get over it. That's been a long time. Well, good luck with the removal of your wisdom teeth. I don't remember if I've ever had laughing gas. And again, I don't know what they gave us that day. I can't remember that part. It probably was laughing gas for all I know. It's been a long time, an awfully long time. Deep, breathe deep. You think Jeffrey Epstein didn't suicide himself? You have never seen a fake suicide before this one. The former fired minister of interior and major general suicided himself before he could be charged with war crime in Russia. Who is this? The correct answer to question 5 is A. Vladimir Makarov. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure, but it's A as an apple. A as an apple. All right, question 6. How did Colorado officer Julian Berbiekra die while pursuing a known felon, a man wanted for carjacking on February 12th, 2023? Was it A, he was hit by another car on the roadway while in a foot chase? B, he fell off an overpass bridge? C, he was shot by a homeowner? Or D, a car accident? Question 6. How did Officer Julian Bereka, I'm not sure how you pronounce these names. Excuse me. So we're 29 minutes into tonight's trivia. And I just happened to look up at my screen, and it's now showing that there is nobody in the actual trivia. Nobody's here. Barry Morphew in Mountain Lion. Barry Morphew and Mountain Lion for the win. B, please. B, they all sound terrible, though. Back the blue. Lies, all lies. We are all here. We are here. I can see on my other screen, side on this. Well, you can't see it, but I have a split screen, so it's down the middle, 50-50, and on my other one for actual YouTube itself, it shows how many people are constantly streaming, and engagement on a graph. Did you change the time, Will? 4 o'clock. It's always at 4. I mean, I changed the date. It used to be, we used to do trivia, on Fridays, but ever since it moved to Sundays, it's always been 4. The title, and right now it says Sunday Night Crime Trivia to Try and Kill a Star, but that was last week. And for some reason, it didn't want to bring that up. If I can figure it out before the end of tonight, we'll do some of those questions from that trivia. The springtime changed last night. Oh, daylight savings time? Was that last night? I hate daylight savings time. Did you set your clocks ahead, Interpiece? Because right now where I am, it is 4:31. 4:31 p.m. I'm in a Pacific Standard Time Zone. All right, question 6. How did the Colorado officer Julian die on February 12th, 2023? The correct answer is B as in boy. He fell off an overpass bridge. He was chasing the subject and he stumbled and then fell over the, I guess you call it railing, and plummeted to his death, unfortunately. My heart goes out to his family, and especially, with that happening so recently. They still have to be reeling from that. An officer puts on that uniform and they go out those doors every night, or day to do their job, knowing that, they have no guarantee that they're going to come home safe that night. And that's got to be hard as hell on a family. But to lose your husband and, your father, and brother and friend that way, it's got to be hard. All right, question 7. Kidnapped, held at gunpoint, Donovan Atkins then tried to sexually assault his victim. She refused to comply with his demands. She went one step further. What did she do? Was it A, she punched him in his dinky winky? B, held barrel of gun to her head and said no? C, slapped him and laughed? Or D, told him he was too tiny down there? Kidnapped and held at gunpoint, Donovan Atkins then tried to sexually assault his victim. She refused to comply with his demands. She went one step further. What did she do? A, please. D, please. D. She didn't let him eat carbs. Didn't eat carbs. Good evening, Sal, and welcome to tonight's trivia. D would be awesome, though, too, though. F, A, B, C, D. I think that's, there you go. Purple. It's going to be one of those. Is that spaghetti? Spaghetti, peach, and mac. Spent Shoes is going with A. I miss carbs. No carbs for you. Question 7. All funny. Question 7. Kidnapped and held at gunpoint. Donovan Atkins then tried to sexually assault his victim. She refused to comply with his demands. She went one step further. What did she do? I'm trying to think what to add here. What is the correct answer? Well, ladies and gentlemen, for this question, if you answered A, if you answered B, if you answered C or D for question 7, you're right. She did all of the above or some variation to it. He tried to force her to give him oral sex, and she told him he was too tiny when he pulled it out. She then slapped him and punched him, refused to comply with what he wanted, and then she started screaming. And when he pulled out his gun and said, "Shut up, I'm going to kill you," she held it to her head and said, "I'm not going to do what you want me to do, so you're going to have to kill me." So if you answered any of those at all, you are correct. Crackers and noodles away. All right, question 8. If you can't keep a calm head, you most likely shouldn't own a gun. Road rage, mishandling a gun, or a hot temper. Regardless, a 4-year-old was shot in the arm. Where did this happen? Where did this happen? Was it in Colorado because they got them mountain lions? C, Ohio, because, well, it's Ohio. C, Florida, because aliens from outer space. Or D, Texas, because why not? Because why not? Question 8. Where was a 4-year-old shot in the arm? Question 8. D, why not? E, Idaho. Idaho. Who wants to make a bet that they get the case of Brian Kohlberger will go to trial and be finished before they get Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell's cases finished? They're gonna arrest, convict, sentence, and he's gonna be off in prison before they get the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell case done. It's insane just how long this case is taking. F, A, B, C, or D? I wouldn't bet against it. No? D all day. Texas is beast. They'll lock him up. He'll be there to greet them. Now it looks like they're questioning, if it's legal for them to even seek the death penalty against Lori Vallow because she may have been criminally insane at the time. There is no defense in the state of Idaho for that, but defense for being mentally insane. You have guilty or not guilty. You can't claim temporary insanity or mental defect. All right, question 8. If you can't keep a calm head, you most likely shouldn't own a gun. Road rage, mishandling a gun, or a hot temper. Regardless, a 4-year-old was shot in the arm. Where did this happen? The correct answer is D as in dog, in Texas. The father shot his own son in the arm with his gun. They believe it was road rage, or he got mad at somebody else and the gun accidentally went off. At least that's what his version is. But it happened in Texas. Lori Sutton, good evening. Question 9. I see fairies wearing boots. Stay off the drugs, people. You might end up behind bars like Pennsboro County, West Virginia man Thomas Smith, charged with the following. Was it A, public nudity, B, publicly pleasuring oneself, C, strangulation, assault, 3 counts, or D, murder, 1st degree? I see fairies wearing boots. Stay off the drugs, people. You might end up behind bars like Pennsboro County, West Virginia man Thomas Smith. E, loitering. Loitering. Question 9. Now, Lisa is going with C, cement B, Jane A, B. Guessing B, says Pigeon Mac. This one is strange. Wait till I tell you about it in a minute here, Pigeon Mac. I see fairies wearing boots. It's not just a lyric from, a Black Sabbath song. Fairies wearing boots. Stay off the drugs, people. Might end up behind bars like Pennsboro County, West Virginia man Thomas Smith, charged with the following. can't wait. Starfire is going with B as well. Janice C. 29 seconds. Lori's going with C. Okay. I see fairies wearing boots. Stay off the drugs, people. You might end up behind bars like Pennsboro County, West Virginia man Thomas Smith, charged with what? The correct answer is C as in cat. Strangulation, assault, 3 counts of that. He was high on a mixture of ketamine and methamphetamines at the time, and he thought that he was attacking fairies that were wearing boots. He thought that these fairies were following him everywhere. So he attacked these people thinking that they were fairies wearing boots. Maybe he was listening to Black Sabbath beforehand, but that was what he said. He thought he was attacking fairies that were wearing boots. All right, question 10. Sometimes it's really hard to be nice with these questions. With that said, Juanita Wolf is only 28 years old, but she is an idiot. Now she will spend the next 15 years in prison for what? Is it A, manslaughter, B, child abuse, C, selling fake drugs, or D, injecting her friend with the known fake drugs? But why would you attack a fairy? I'm not sure why. On that part, Pitching Mac, maybe he didn't like fairies. I mean, high on ketamine and on methamphetamine. I met someone once that went to court for throwing powdered donuts at a cop car. Good evening, Mel. But I'm here, late but here. Well, thank you for joining us, Mel. I hope you had a wonderful week and weekend. Sometimes it's really hard to be nice with these questions. It is. I read some of these stories, backstories about these people, and it's just like, what are you doing? How does somebody, fall so far from, what is right and wrong? And I wonder, is it the, obviously if somebody's on drugs, they probably don't know, what's going on, right from wrong entirely, but they still have to be held legally responsible for their actions. But I also wonder to myself, is it just a complete failure of the public education system in America that we get people like this? I don't hear stories like this coming out of Canada or out of Scotland or the UK, but here in America we seem to produce our own sort of wackiness, and that's talking about people who are not on drugs. E, buying a Yugo. The entire courtroom burst into laughter when the judge read the charges. He's probably driving somewhere. That'd be my guess. What were the charges exactly? Assault with the donut? Anything goes in America, Will. Yeah. Yeah. This whole entire website's devoted to it, like the Florida man stories. All right. Question 10. What now she's going to Juanita Wolf is only 28 years old and she's an idiot. Now she will spend the next 15 years in prison for what? The correct answer is just in time there, JDR, with the A. The correct answer to question 10 is A, as in apple, manslaughter. She killed her friend in a traffic accident. She was drunk as hell. And it's not her first DUI. It wasn't even close. I think this was like her third or fourth, or I can't remember how many she's had, but she's also been involved in DUI crashes several times. But yeah, manslaughter. Literally throwing donuts at a cop car is what he told me. It was just a ticket. There you go. Wow, I didn't even know that you were live, Will and Gang. Hello, everyone. Hello, Reichardt. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Question 11. What state was the never caught kissing granny crimes all committed in? Wanted for 29 felonies from everything from robbery to assault. Maybe she's playing along with us tonight. What state? Was it A, New York, B, Maine, C, Florida, or D, Oklahoma? Kissing granny. How many more questions, Reichardt? Well, there are 15 for the current crimes and passion. And then after this, we're going to do some of the, not all 15, but I'm going to try to pull up the trivia from last weekend that we missed. We'll probably do 8 or so of the questions from that one. Question 11. Kissing granny. What state did she commit 29 felonies in? Everything from robbery to assault. The state of insanity. What state was never caught kissing granny? What state did she commit all 29 felonies in? Reichart's going with B. I picked D, but it sounds like something someone from Florida would do. It says JDR. Whoever was talking about carbs earlier, I missed them too. But I'm losing weight, so they can stay gone. Well, congratulations, Jane, on the weight loss. Sounds like something that someone from would do in Florida. Says Mel. Purple's going with D. Question 11. The answer to question 11 is C, as in cat. Florida is the correct answer. The 29 felonies took place between 1983 and 1999. And then they abruptly stopped in 1999. Most of the felonies, the 29 felonies attributed to the kissing granny, were confidence scams, trying to get fellow older, men, love interest to give up money for some reason that, my heat went out in my home. I got to fix the furnace. They give up money, and then the giggling, the kissing granny, not the giggling granny, but the kissing granny would just vanish once they got the money. And if in a couple of situations where the individual, the elderly man, or try to stop her from walking away with the money, she assaulted them. She stole things from their homes. But majority of them is all over confidence scam, what they call confidence scams, between 1983 and 1999. They don't believe that she's alive anymore because she was in her late 60s, early 70s. What they figure she was, they don't know for sure because all the information that they had out there, well, it's fake. She was using a fake name, fake residency. They don't believe that she actually lived anywhere in the area, but the crimes happened in Florida. Most of them were met through senior centers and adult service programs, is how she found most of her victims. All right, going on to question 12. Janice Hargrove was left at the church without a groom. She got mad and destroyed his car. Why was she all alone without a groom, and what did she do next? Was it A, he got arrested, she cheated on him, he was at home, she showed up a day early, C, he was at work, she was 32 days early for the wedding, or D, he died 1 year prior and she got drunk next? Why was she all alone without a groom? What did she do next? It's not important there. Why was she all alone at the altar? She drove off in her Yugo. She destroyed his car. But why? Why'd she do that? Was it because he got arrested? She cheated on him? He was at home. She showed up a day early. He was at work. She was 32 days early for the wedding. Or D, he died a year prior and she got drunk next. Why was Janice Hargrove left at the church altar without a groom? I want it to be B. Starfire A. Sal's going with D. B. Hell yeah. Vaguely recalling B. Janice? E. She was a truck driver that hated cars. There's a lot of people out there on the roads of America. I'm sure you can contest to it, Reichart. They're just dummies. People who never should have a driver's license. I see some of the biggest morons myself driving in the early morning hours. It's like, it's not even, complete daylight yet, around 5 a.m. It's dark. I see people driving down the street, no headlights on. I see all kinds of stupid things happen out there on the roads. Couldn't be a truck driver. Couldn't do it. I'd run people off the damn road. Beep, beep. Let me see B. Janice Hargrove was left at the church without a groom. She got mad and destroyed his car. Why was she left all alone without a groom? The correct answer to question 12, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy. She showed up at the wedding a day early and she got mad, went back home afterwards, and destroyed this man's brand new car. She took a baseball bat to the entire car, smashed out all the windows, totaled the car out. But she was a day early. When they asked her in court why she did it, she said the stress of the wedding made her forget what day it was. Now, she didn't have any of her bridesmaids there, nobody else. You kind of wonder, well, was she going to go destroy their cars and their homes next? She was there all by herself. No groom, nobody. You think that you'd be like, hey, man, why isn't anybody here? I'm supposed to be getting married today. Why? Where's my family? Where's my friends? No, nobody was there. She was a day early. So she took it out on his car, destroyed the thing. Forgot to change her clock from daylight savings time. Forgot to flip the month on her calendar. Well, at least you guessed right correctly. All right, question 13. Which one from below do criminal behaviorists believe was a large motivation for Alex Murdaugh to kill his family, allegedly? Obviously, this was done, these questions were put together before Alex Murdaugh was found guilty of the crime. So it's not allegedly anymore. But what is according to criminal behaviorists, why do they believe was the motive for Alex's murdering his family? Was it A, fear of being a disappointment to them? B, fear of them finding out about his drug abuse? C, greed? Or D, fear of getting caught for other crimes? That says all of them. I think all of them played into it, but I think the family also knew about it. At least during his testimony, he said that they kept on finding drugs all over the pills all over the place. He couldn't keep track of his pills. I don't know about you, but if you ever been around a drug addict, they know where their drugs are. They may have forgotten that they took them, but they know where their drugs are. For him to find, for the housekeeper and his family to find pills everywhere, handfuls of pills, makes you wonder, how do you know that you did 60 Oxycontin pills a day from months on in leading up to that, their murder, if you can't even keep track of where the hell your pills are? Just another one of those things that just didn't make sense to his entire story. And one of the worst things he could have done was taking a damn stand. He did no favors for himself at all. All the above times 100. E, fear of Barry Morphew. He feared Barry Morphew's coming for him with a mountain lion, driving a Yugo. Purple's going with A, B, C, and D again. One of them is correct. Which one from below do criminal behavioralists believe was the large motivation for Alex Murdaugh to kill his family? Can you imagine being his remaining son? No. His son's broke. He's got to be, because they attached the lien on all the properties and all their belongings. And I feel sorry for Buster. Buster lost his brother, his mother, and his dad. I mean, did he lose his dad the day he was convicted, or was his dad gone long before that because of the dependency on drugs? But and somebody asked me this also. I'll answer this really quickly. Side note, but Buster is actually named after his. I think it's his grandfather or great grandfather. That was his nickname, Buster. So Buster supports Alex. FN Barry freaking mountain lion Morphew. Yeah, for Christ's sakes. All right, question 13. The correct answer is A as in apple. Now, the hunting lodge, the family home, were in the wife's name. His Maggie's the home and the property were all in Maggie's name, and they believed that one of the motivations was he didn't want them to find out how much of a failure he was, and because well, that was all going to come out. Now they've been solicitors in that county, attorneys, and legal representation in the county for an awfully long time, and then here Alex is, destroying the entire family name, his family, and everybody around him. He had gotten in so far and so deep. They believed that he was going to be a complete disappointment to them, an embarrassment to them all. They couldn't allow that to happen. I think that when it came to the killing, though, also another part of it is the motivation behind it. I think was also what Paul had done in the boating accident, and how he was going to be found guilty in the civil case of that, and where was that money going to come from? So, but I think when he shot Paul twice, up close with the shotgun, I think that was more personal. And Maggie just had to die because she was there. She had to die. Well, I mean, how are you going to explain that you just shot your son twice with a shotgun from her own family? Yeah. That is not the underlying issue. I don't believe that for a moment. Well, obviously, we've learned a lot more about the case since these questions have come out. Maybe they would pick and would say something else, but obviously this was done before he was actually convicted. The question was, so that's why it says allegedly there. But I could always ask them again, and I'll talk to them again on Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, I think Wednesday, and I can ask them the question again if they still believe it's for because he was a disappointment to the family. If it, and I'll put it in the community tab. I'll make a community tab post about it to let you know if they still hold to that as their underlying issue of why they think that he did it. All right, question 14. Do criminal behavioralists as a whole believe the story as to why Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell wanted everyone dead? Does it fit with the known knowledge of doomsday cults and religious cults? Is A, yes, it fits with cults that believe in a chosen one savior. B, no, they don't believe it and believe they made it all up. C, no, it doesn't fit with any known cult or group. Or D, yes, it matches up almost too perfectly. Do criminal behaviorists as a whole believe the story as to why Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell wanted everyone dead? They believed that everyone needed to die so they could go over to the other side of the veil, so they could lead the chosen ones to the promised land after the Christ came back to resurrect and lead the chosen ones to the enlightened land. There's several different versions of it that Lori talked about on her podcast radio thing, and that Chad put in his books. But it all depends on which version of it you really believe. But does it match up according to what criminal behaviorists believe? E. Yes, Chad told Lori in the portal. Sven Shoes is going with B. No, they don't believe it and believe they made it all up. Lead the 144,000 and all that. Yep, Mel, that's what they believe. That Chad Daybell. What did he have his first vision when he had a stroke when he was digging a grave? I think it's when it something about he passed out or after digging a grave is when he had his first vision. It's insane. And if they're convicted, I really do believe that they're going to be, you're going to have to put them on some kind of like suicide watch for the rest of their lives if they're convicted. Because they already had a day that determined that they all needed to die by so they could cross over to the other side. The structure of cults is basically the same, but to that degree it's made up. I've got a lot of books on the cults, on cult behavior. This one is Doomsday Cults. The Prince of Darkness, 666 by, that's a good one, by Grant Jeffrey. Bob Larson's Satanism and Seductive Cults. The World's Weirdest Cults. Satan is Alive and Well on Planet Earth by Hal Lindsey. He's a damn good writer. New Age Cult. Freemasonry, the invisible cult in our midst. 666 by Salem Kurban. This is the Antichrist cult that believes in the resurrection, and everything else, kind of like what Chad preached about. You can find parts of of his doctrine, his visions. It's almost exactly what is it? I have it marked here. Page 193. The Search for Safety. His vision is almost exactly copied word for word from page 193 in that book. But that ain't all of them. I have a lot more. Question 14. The correct answer is D, as in dog. As I was just alluding to, a lot of what they have said is their doomsday prophecy and these visions that Chad had and what he wrote about in his books is almost word for word of what other people, like some of these authors, have written about 10, 20 years prior. If you read, if you actually read or find some of the articles about Chad's books, I'm not telling you to go out and buy his books. Maybe there's a public library or someplace nearby where you can check it out. The books, but a lot of his other visions and his prophecies that he experienced are really close to Jim Jones's philanthropy and how to get people to join your movement. taking from page out of basically Jim Jones and the People's Temple. But it's like, wow, did you ever have an original vision in your at all, Chad? I mean, you can't say that he plagiarized the books because they're awful. His books are awful. I know high school kids who've written better books than Chad Daybell. But anywho, he borrowed from other cults and took things from the LDS scripture. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He most certainly did take that. Old Chinless Chad got the hit. Oh, I was reading that hit in the head with that surfboard that he liked to admit. Used to keep up with Bob Larson when I used to be into death metal. Somewhere around here, Reichardt. Oh, is that Reichardt that said that? Yeah. Somewhere around here, I have a whole collection of Bob Larson's VHS tapes. I think I have eight or nine of them. It was like him reading the actual book itself, plus he's reading it and his voice is kind of dubbed over the actual movie itself that kind of goes and follows along the story. They're all in a box somewhere. I don't have a VCR anymore, but I have them all somewhere. They're up in one of the shelves up in the loft in this garage, which has been converted to my studio. All right, Mr. Jones and me. Who is that? Who was that? That's saying that Mr. Jones and me. Drawing a blank on that one, Pigeon Mac. I can picture and hear the song in my head. All right, question 15. There is a reason I asked, and it's not just morbid curiosity. Polling over 300 former law enforcement officers from state and federal agencies, I asked, with the known public information right now, how likely is it that Summer Wells is alive? And I did ask this actual question in a forum, benevolent and retired officers group. Was it A, 20% say that Summer Wells is still alive? B, about a 50% chance say these officers. C, less than 10% chance that she's still alive. Or D, greater than 70% chance that she is not alive. Well, she is alive. Anyone here from Houston area remember the Brown Channel? Billy Paul? The Brown Channel, and the man that basically culted people to love and follow him. He did some sort of plastic or dental. Can't remember. Counting Crows? Was that them? Mr. Jones and me? Sounds about right. The Counting Crows or Black Crows? Something like that. Yeah. Thank you. Billy Paul? People pretending to be demons possessed used to call up Bob Larson on his radio show, yell in a demonic voice. Huh. People with experiences with alien abduction used to call into Paul Harvey. I say A because I believe some may think she was trafficked. That poor little girl has been dead since the day she supposedly disappeared. Very sad. I don't know. I mean, I hope she's alive out there somewhere. You know, I just know that her parents have never done a damn bit of good, speaking to the public on the case and her disappearance. Her dad definitely should have shut his damn mouth a long time ago. He just didn't know when to stop. I know you need to advocate for people to keep it in the news, to keep people out there looking for her. If you really truly believe that somebody took her, somebody very well could have. I don't know what happened, but at some point, with his drunken, rage, and talking, and the shit that he kept on doing, all it did was it took the focus off of looking for Summer, and it focused it on him and his stupidity. Counting crows. Thank you, JDR. No, keep that mouth open. Get them caught. I don't think they're going to talk about it. I think at this point though, both of them have pretty much. I don't want to say that they've lawyered up, but they've definitely over the course of the last 6 months have definitely learned their lessons. And keeping their mouth shut and not talking about it as if Summer Wells and the entire case has fallen to page B or C in the newspaper. It's not even headline news anymore. I mean, just put Summer Wells into a search engine. You'll find newer content on YouTube than you will from a news outlet. Oh, I think she's alive and well with a grandma's friend in another state. I think she wasn't was sent to live elsewhere because CPS was coming for her. CPS was definitely looking at the family before they came and took the rest of the kids away. From what I remember, but it's been a while. Alex Jones and me down Barrios, staring at the beautiful woman. She was looking at you. Nah, she was looking at me. All right, question 15. The correct answer is A as in apple, maybe 20%. And they say that's mainly because of the amount of time that has lapsed without any one being named as an actual suspect. But at the same time, they say there's no publicly known information that a violent crime happened there on the property. If there had been something like that had been known, they would more than likely. But there's also a chance that somebody took her. So at least they think that there's at least maybe a 20% chance that she is alive out there. And even a 1% chance, I'm willing to hold on for 1%. I don't want to think that any child is ever harmed. All right. So it's going to take me a minute here. I have to close this one out. Add up how many you got correct, and I'm going to pull up the other trivia that we missed last weekend because I was sick. In the meantime, you get to look at me. I'm out of my small box. Look at me. Uh, 1% is better than no chance at all. That is true. Failed yet again. Oh, wow. Close. There we go. Big Will all blurry. Am I blurry? I'm sorry. I'm messing with the computer. I'm trying to pull up the other screen. All right, we just finished Current Crimes and Passion. It's not going to let me open the other page unless I close this. Unless I close the stream, it's not going to let me open it. At least it's not letting me. Come on. Presentation, close one presentation, open another. All right. And now back to this one to share screen. Will, we're all joining another stream. No problem. Start a new stream. I will join. No, I've got to figure it out, Pigeon Mac. I got to figure it out. No need to do that. We're still back in black and white in the 70s. Oh, we were poor. All right. Get myself in my little window here. And question 4. Now let's see here. Damn it. Just give me a minute. I'm still working on this. I thought it was opening up, but it opened up a blank one. Trying to open up one that has actually got the. You might want to look at something that's not a blank page, huh? Well, okay. This is not the one that it'll let me open this one. To try and kill a star, but it will not let me open the other one. Rock star Frank Zappa has had more than a half dozen plots to kill him in his career. A fan set fire to the Montreux Casino ballroom prior to the show. Then came Trevor Charles Howell. Why did he try to kill him? Was it A, he didn't play the songs he wanted to hear? B, Zappa told him to go F himself? C, he hates moonbeams? or D, his girlfriend had a crush on Frank? You're so impatient. I can't get the other one to open. It won't open the page. I think if I hit this other tab, it's going to blank this one out. And I know I'm not in my little window. I'm aware of that. No little Will. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, Pigeon Mac. There we go. There's my little Will. There's your little Will. I'm in the corner. I'm here. What the fuck? What's up, Mr. Frosty? How's work been treating you in life? Hope everything's been going well for you. Glad you could stop in tonight for trivia. All right, rock star Frank Zappa has had more than a half dozen plots to kill him in his career. A fan set fire to the Montreux Casino Ballroom prior to a show. Then came Trevor Charles Howell. Why did he try to kill Frank Zappa? Mr. Frosty's going with T. The viable option, Mr. Frosty. The correct answer to question 1 is D as in dog. Meth. D as in dog. His girlfriend had a crush on Frank Zappa. So Trevor Charles Howell decided the correct thing to do to get rid of his girlfriend's crush was to kill Frank Zappa. Well, you can't have a crush on him if he's dead. So he tried to kill Frank Zappa because his girlfriend had a crush on him. All right, question 2. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. That is the death of Posh, aka Victoria Beckham. Mere seconds away from death. How did she escape with her 8-month-old son at the time? He went to jail for a while, Cement Shoes. I did not write down how much time he got, but that was he tried to kill him at the performance of the Rainbow Theater, wherever that is. And FYI, he tried to stab Frank Zappa. I think he may have actually cut him, but he didn't actually kill him. She really, really wanted to live. Crush on Frank Zappa? I know. People, for some reason. I mean, look at all the fan letters that Dennis Rader gets. According to the prison, he gets dozens of letters every single month from fans. From fans. That's BTK. Bind, torture, kill. He gets fan mail. If people send him fan mail, why not Frank Zappa? Although I will say that, to me, Frank Zappa hasn't exactly been what I would call a handsome man in his any time in his lifetime. But hey, he's a talented musician. I'll give him that. Washington State pays the second highest unemployment benefits per week in the nation. I might move out your way. Yeah, yeah. But the problem is that the system is so overloaded, and overworked. My wife during the COVID closure was on unemployment, and it would take six hours a week just to to log in and and tell them who she was applying jobs with, so she could meet the requirements to actually get unemployment. And then it was just a tragedy. I think they ended up not paying her for unemployment benefits for like 8 months. She didn't get anything at all. And then they finally were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we're working on that." People actually have to fill out an application to get to write BTK. Yeah, he's one of those that requires people write him, and then he sends them back an application. You want to communicate with me, have correspondence with me, you got to fill out an application. That's not new and unique, but there have been others that have done it before. I hate BTK. I think Dennis Rader is just, he got tripped up by it, by thinking that he was smarter than he actually is. Um, I don't like any serial killer or anybody that kills people, but I don't find him all that interesting of an individual. He's kind of boring, I guess in that aspect. I mean, I don't want to say that he's boring necessarily. It's like there have been others who have done crimes, and and where the psychology behind what they've done, is what interests me. And how they and why they did it, from the psychology side of it. That's what's always drawn me to research and learn about serial killers and cults, and stuff like that, is because of the psychology, how they break someone down to actually commit the crimes. And speaking of cults, you know people think like, I would never get wrapped up in a cult like that. Now you don't know. You can't say that until you've actually been in that situation. A lot of really smart people have gotten mixed up and connected to cults. You know, not all those people who died down in Jonestown, in Jim Jones's cults, who drank Kool-Aid, that would they knew, they practiced that drill over and over again. They knew one of those days they were going to be drinking Kool-Aid with cyanide. They knew it. Well, it wasn't Kool-Aid, it was Flavor Aid. But all right, question 2 is, she ran out the back door, B as in boy, as they came in the front. I'm not going to do all 15 of these. I'm just going to hit some of the better ones, at least the questions I like. I'll make a video of this one and put it up. You can watch through it and still test yourself on how many you got right. Locked up, doing life behind bars can make a man crazy. Add drugs and hatred for another man's music, Who did Mark Stecky and Tanner Ruan come within 7 feet of actually murdering for $10,000? Was it A, Michael Jackson, B, Janet Jackson, C, Tito Jackson, or D, Justin Bieber? You gotta be a believer for the Bieber. Question 7. Pitcher Mac is going with A, Michael Jackson. And if you can't get it from the question itself, this was a murder for hire plot for $10,000. Locked up doing life behind bars can make a man crazy. Add drugs and hatred for another man's music. Who did Mark Stecky and Tanner Ruan, I think that's how you pronounce it, come within 7 feet of actually murdering for $10,000? E, Mark from Ork, Nanu Nanu. I love that show. Mork and Mindy. I mean, I just like Robin Williams. The tragic death. I wish he was still around. I had a conversation about comics the other day with my friend. We're like, if you could have any comedian back, who's gone, who would you like to see, back today, and doing comedy? It's an interesting, question when you think about all the great comics that have passed. Who would you like to see back doing comedy today? And who's passed before? So Nana is paying anyone to kill Tito. Only Tito's killing Tito. Nancy Drew, Mo, Barry Morphew. F, Barry Morphew. E, 1980 Hugo with a mountain lion. Within 7 feet of actually murdering this individual. Who is it? Question 7. JDR is going with D, Justin Bieber. If I could have any comic back who has passed, today, I would love to have the 1970s, the younger version of George Carlin back today. I would love to hear his take on the world, around us today. Back when he was doing, the Class Clown album. I mean, he was really good, as comic, in his entire life, but. All right, question. I will. Ellen, and we're late, but here. Well, we've already done the 15. We're doing some of the ones that we missed from last weekend. Right now, the correct answer to question 7 on this trivia list is D as in dog. Justin Bieber. The person who paid for this hit, his name is Dana Martin. Dana Martin paid $10,000 to these two idiots to kill Justin Bieber. D as in dog. And in case you're wondering, Dana Martin is a musician who, was locked up in jail at the time, awaiting trial. And he paid these two idiots on the outside he was going to pay him $10,000 to kill him. All right, question 8. In 1969, people really still believed peace around the world was possible. One way not to get there, though, is to hire Hell's Angels to provide security for your concert, who initially refused to perform, so the Hell's Angels leader told the crew, go kill him. Who was this? Was it A, Mick Jagger, B, Rod Stewart, C, Debbie Harry, or D, Alice Cooper? Not a very good idea to hire a motorcycle gang to do security for your concert. Not a good idea. Sal's going with A. Starfire A. Frosty's going with the Stones. Smith Shoes A as well. Bieber's music is awful. I'm not a fan, but I can definitely understand that the talent that is there. E. Lawrence Welk. Tiny bubbles. Gonna go put a pot of water on the stove and get a towel and throw over my head. Just have all that steam like come over my face. Oh. Congestion's just driving me nuts. Do it. All right. The answer to question 8 on this trivia is A as in apple. A as in apple is correct. The Almont Speedway concert. All right. Next one is question 12. Pop music was influenced by this man. Pop art was his game. As they say, anarchist Valerie Solanas planned out every single detail to kill this man, then claimed she never did. The diary appeared after her sentence. Who did she try to kill on June 3rd, 1969? Was it A, Keith Haring, B, Juan Michael Busquet, C, Roy Lichtenstein, or D, Andy Warhol? Music at work ad nauseum. I thought he was a girl for about a year until someone corrected me about Bieber. You thought Bieber was a girl? He was discovered on YouTube. Just think about that. I mean, there's other people who have been discovered on YouTube as well. Two of the hosts who are on Court TV were discovered on YouTube as well. I forget their names, top of my head right now, but you never know. Leave it to Bieber. if you ever near the Amtrak station in Chicago, you can see a giant mural that is still there by Keith Haring. It says "Crack is whack." It's on the side of a building. Juan Michael Basquiat, um, his work was more cubism, pop art with throw in like Jackson Pollock kind of work in it, itself. Roy Lichtenstein, his claim to fame, besides being an art teacher at the Chicago Art Institute, was he did the kind of like a comic book, like prints with the dots. So it looked like a page out of a comic book, but painted on a canvas. And of course, then we all know Andy Warhol and his butterflies and pictures, and Campbell soup cans. Ansel Adams, one of the best nature photographers ever. I absolutely love his Ansel Adams's work of Yellowstone and Yellowstone National Park, along with his wildlife photography. There's a guy who's actually a subscriber to this channel. His name is John Butler. You need to go look him up if you like photography, like Ansel Adams photography. But John Butler is his name. That's the name of his YouTube channel, John Butler. But he's a retired federal employee, and he does excellent photography. It's not all in black and white, it's color, but he talks about why he picks the subject matter and what he talks about how he's setting up the camera and the aperture and everything else, which is really interesting to me. I absolutely find it amazing. But I subscribe to his channel as well. I actually met him in a live chat thing, on a channel that helps people grow on YouTube and get answers to some of the questions. Like, why is YouTube so freaking hard to understand? He did painting called F11. F111. Well, the answer to question 12 is D, Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol. All right. Where is it? Now we're. Okay, which one should we do next? Let's go. Cheeseburgers in Paradise, where the streets have no names. Let's spin those albums. 3 stars all involved in the same attempts on their lives. Who were they? A. Elvis Presley. B. James Dean and Sam Rockwell. B. Jimmy Buffett, Bono, and Chris Rockwell. C. Zappa, Jimmy Buffett, and Dean Rockwell. Or D. Debbie Harry, Jimmy Buffett, and Trey Rockwell. Will we see bank runs tomorrow? I don't know. What's important about tomorrow, Mr. Frosty? Is the Fed raising the rates again? What's the name of the channel? JDR? John Butler. 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 John, John. Cheeseburgers in Paradise, Where the Streets Have No Name, and Let's Spin Those Albums. 3 stars all involved in the same attempts on their lives. Who are they? Well, thank you, Starfire. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man, am I an idiot? Ladies and gentlemen, his last name is not Butler. I was thinking of someone completely different. His last name is Drummond. And here is the link to his actual YouTube channel. That is the link to John Drummond, not Butler. I was sitting here just now and I was like, Butler, John Butler. He's the man that they believe killed his wife and his grandmother. That was in my head. Not Butler. Drummond, John Drummond. But that's a link to his YouTube. There was a Big Bank Failure Friday and another was in progress when things turned off on Friday. Really? I'm sorry, I hadn't been following that one. Well, I hope there's not a bank run. I mean, if I went into the bank and tried to get all my money out of the bank, I'd probably only get a small portion of it. Banks don't carry that much cash in them anymore. Whoops, yeah. But it's John Drummond, not John Butler. All right. The answer to question 4 is B as in boy, Jimmy Buffett, Bono, and Chris Rockwell. Who is the one that talks about YouTube? Oh, JDR. That is TubeBuddy. It's an add-on extension you pay a subscription to. There's like the basic plan, there's a middle plan, and there's like the all-out like Uber plan. But TubeBuddy, well, okay, Nick Minion used to be with TubeBuddy, but I've been following him since he was with TubeBuddy. But TubeBuddy has a YouTube channel, but it's Nick Minion. He's not with TubeBuddy anymore. But he does every Saturday morning. He does a live stream where he answers questions about YouTube, the algorithm, and ways to grow your channel and stuff like that, and answers questions that people have about everything. When's the best time to upload? When's do YouTube Shorts hurt? The watch time and algorithm against long form content. He answers questions like that every Saturday morning. But he used to be with TubeBuddy as an add-on program that I pay for just the basic myself. It's helpful a little, but is this the photographer? Yes. Interpeas, John Drummond photography. I posted the link. It says it's by host. I think it's up a little bit. Ronald McDonald Hamburger Big Mac. I'm back. Ate all them wings. Yum yum. Well, that's good. I'm hungry myself, but I haven't been able to eat much. But damn, the wings do sound good. Well, I'm gonna go in the house and make myself some soup and call it a day and just relax. Just that. Thank you, Will. That's all right. Now, let's see which one do we do next. Do 13. All we need is love. Love is all we need. November 30th, 1999, this deranged lunatic tried to kill George Harrison and his wife at their home in Henley on the Thames. Who tried to kill George Harrison? Was it A, Michael Adams, B, Adolph Myers, C, Henry Stone, or D, Michael Myers? I think this is going to be the last one, ladies and gentlemen. I got a headache coming on. This damn acetaminophen isn't helping right now. Popping these damn things for like a week plus. Maybe it's a tumor. It's not a tumor. Oh, Mr. Frosty, I've been drinking so much water and tea. I've been staying very hydrated. That and Gatorade. It's at least the cough is gone for the most part. It's just this congestion in my chest and then the sinus pressure. It just won't go away. If my nose isn't running like a million miles an hour and I'm not sneezing constantly, and then it's just like impacted. I love the orange tabby, Jane A. I had myself an orange tabby. His name was Apollo. It was an orange tabby. Now I've got my cat's name is Bogey, but my daughter has 4 cats that are in the house. Yeah, because my wife brought in a stray that we believe somebody abandoned. We'd never seen the cat before, but it turned out that stray cat was pregnant when we brought that cat in. So now we have 4 cats. My cat, is he comes inside the house, but most of the time he's in the studio in here. He'll be asleep on that purple chair that's behind me here. You probably can't see it right now, but Chippy. Oh, that's a cute name. I had an orange tabby named Baxter. The orange tabby, we had him for I want to say 10 years, 11 years, somewhere in there. He lived a good life, but I actually kind of stole him. A family friend called me up one day, years and years and years ago. They called me up and they said that they had a kitten that wasn't eating, and they wanted to know if I could take it to the vet, and then nurse it back to health, and then bring it back to them. I'm like, sure. I got a big heart. I'm a sucker. I'll do it. So, I go over to their house and I'm like looking around. I'm like, well, what was what were you trying to feed the kitten? And they're like, oh, we're here, and this is what we made for the kitten. And they're basically trying to feed kitten table scraps, and the kitten wouldn't eat them. The kitten was just sticking bones at that point. So I made the decision right then and there. I wasn't bringing the kitten back. So I took the kitten to the vet, got formula for the kitten, fed the kitten with an eye dropper every day, nursed it back to health, and and then when they called me up, they said, "Hey, is the kitten doing great?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, the kitten died. Sorry." And they're like, "Oh man, that sucks. All right, well, thank you." And I'm like, "I'm keeping this cat," and that was Apollo. I had him for 10, 11 years, somewhere in there. He was a great cat. Cough syrup for Mucinex. It helps me get it up. I'll look into it, JDR, but I can't take regular Mucinex or most over-the-counter medications that are for sinus, decongestants. I can't take them because they interact with the medication I take already. So that's what my doctor told me, and that's what the pharmacy told me as well. So I'll look into it though. I'm willing to try anything to try to get rid of this. Yeah. I feel sorry for anybody who ever buys my mother-in-law's home. Every rose bush at my mother-in-law's home has got a cat. It's been buried underneath it. It's our own little pet cemetery. With all this stuff is awesome. Beekeeper's Naturals propellus throat spray, 95% bee propellant extract. Propolis. Propolis. Why did I say? What did I say? That's an absolute no from me, Interpeas. I'm allergic to bees. I would almost bet that it's from the propolis itself is that being a no. Yeah, I'm a beekeeper and I'm allergic to bees. Get that. She is 17 months old. Oh, that's cool. All right. Did I give you the answer to this one? Question 13. The answer is A as in apple, Michael Adams. And that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Our family cat for a while was an orange tabby that we named Jack because a woman in the Jack in the Box drive-thru before us threw him out of her van. And my dad got out and scooped him up. Wow. Some people. And we have cats now. We had dogs, but they've all passed on. But they're not just pets. They're members of our family. Still furry and cute. My buddy is right here. I can't see him. This is Lucky, my dog, my German Shepherd. Lucky's always over my shoulder looking at me, just like he was when he was here with me in the physical form. Always looking over my shoulder, making sure that nothing happens to me. I am. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining me for trivia tonight. I'm going to put these trivia questions together in a video, and then from that video, I'll put this whole slideshow into a video, and then I'll put it up on my channel. And then you can go through it and test your knowledge on these questions. But thank you again, everyone, for joining me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead and stay safe out there. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.